The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no guy. It's me, really, bro. Villain, bro. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And I'm currently updating our pick sheet right here. Mercury -5. It was such a great read. And the laying double digits with the Mercury and that hit to, I think, 11 plus on FanDuel was 2-1. If you cash that, shout out to you as well. I mean, okay, so one, the Sparks are bad and the injuries aren't helping, but this Mercury team is going to beat the crap out of lesser competition. They're going to. That's exactly what they're doing. They are that type of team. Taurasi giving them 30 is actually really, really, really hilarious because she's not capable of doing that night in, night out anymore. But here she goes, gives the Sparks 30 and gets us this win. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. So 11-1. 11-1, Scott. 11-1 on that's. I don't think I've had a run like that in the W. And since this is season three. This is season 3. I don't think I've had a run like that. Now, in the beginning, we had a crazy run of dogs. That might have been more No, this still might be more profitable. I don't know. I would have to start crunching numbers and all that. I'm not about to do all that. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on? Where's your drop at? What the heck? Oh, there it is.
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, it was an annoying Sunday for me in general. I feel like we had a lot of good reads on the actual games. I just went player props instead of sides. But I feel like we got a decent amount of it right. We thought the Mercury would win. We thought the Liberty would dominate. I don't know why we didn't take the Mercury just in general as a joint lock. I just decided not to. The Liberty should have been our bonus lock. We thought they would bury that team, and they did. But my player props didn't work out. I had Hamby assists. I believe the Sparks scored 22 points in the entire first half. So that was not a good sign.
It was really bad. Tough game.
It was really bad. But she finished with 1, so that wasn't close. And I tried to go with a McCowan head-to-head matchup that she's dominated in the past. I might have to just keep fading McCowan. The minutes are not there. Unfortunately, Billingsley completely just dominated the boards instead. And that double-double cashed instead. So I picked the wrong forward for Dallas, and that was kind of unfortunate. But overall, I don't think our reads were that bad on the games. Unfortunately, I just picked the wrong actual bets to go with at the final section. But for the Commissioner Cup games, I feel like we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, we definitely. I think we were on. Well, no, you were on the Sun, so you hit Sun. I got cute and went with the Dream, and then the Wings. Man, that was a good.
I think we were both.
That was good to the fourth quarter.
But I like the under the most. I think I was the biggest fan of the under in that game, and that got the result. So that worked out.
That Wings game was disappointing, though, because I kind of talked myself into Wings and the Wings covering that. At least, at the very least, covering that line. And they were covering the entire game until the fourth quarter. I get up, walk away from the TV for 2 minutes, and then come back. It's a 14-point lead. I'm like, oh, Jesus. But you know what? This is why you have to remember, because I forgot this. And I went and looked it up because I thought I was tripping, Scott. Do you know who's one of the worst scoring teams in the second half this year?
I'm assuming it's going to be the Wings. Yeah, because you wouldn't have brought it up if it wasn't. So
what? Are you serious? How? Yeah, I'm going to take that in consideration. It may not change anything sometime, but I'm going to take it in consideration. Yeah, that really annoyed me because they're really good offensively scoring, and it's just like the second half, it just kind of dwindles. So maybe first half wings might be a move in the future. Depends on who they're playing. But all right. Mm, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, no. We got to talk to you about the NBA Finals tipping off this weekend. We're giving away $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the listener who wins our NBA Finals prop contest. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals to enter the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals. A props contest happens every year. It's a battle every year. Every year, a lot of good props. They have a really, really good system. So make sure you get in the props contest. Try to get you $100 cash and a $100 gift card. Come on. All right. Let's see here, Scott. We got 3 games on Wednesday. Kicking things off. Oh, wait. No, this is the NBA. Why is that NBA tab open? There we go. All right. Kicking things off. First game on the night. We have the Washington Mystics on the road going to play the Connecticut Sun. Sun are laying 12.5 at home. Open up at 14.5. It's down 12.5. 153 is the total here. Injury report for these teams. And I saw earlier that Shakira Austin is out. So the big for Washington, they're going to be without her. And did anything else pop up? Brittany Sykes is still out with that ankle injury, Scott. Mariah Jefferson is still out for the Connecticut Sun as well. All right.
I mean, shouldn't Connecticut kill this team? It's an 0-8 team versus an 8-0 team. We saw the Sun bury the dream last time out. I would say bury, I think is the right word. They dominated the majority of that game. Do you want to give the Mystics any chance? Because they did lose the first meeting by 7. That was the second game of the season, though, so the Mystics were a bit healthier than they were now. They give up 50 points to the Dream. Like, the Dream are a good offense. You win 69-50. I can't pick the Mystics. I don't know how they're going to score. How are they supposed to score in this game?
I mean, I don't think they will. I think it's going to be, and that's the thing. Just the Connecticut is just locked in defensively right now. But it's also the fact that, I mean, they haven't covered the last 2 games, but
who has?
They've covered this Washington. They haven't covered
their
last. No, they haven't covered 2 of their last 3. They covered against the Liberty, but they did not cover it against Atlanta. And they did not cover against Seattle. But if you look at it, only that Seattle game, they would not have covered this line. And if you look at the season in totality, they've only lost 1 game by this line. And that was the Seattle where they just completely didn't show up and it was 101-69. So it's like, I mean, they're covering it. Like, if you look at it, they're covering 12.5. They're constantly covering 12.5. I think.
Does that mean you're going Mystics?
Yeah, I think I'm going Mystics. I'm going Mystics. Mystics plus on. They've literally covered this in every single game this season against everybody once. And I mean, we could sit here and we can say that Connecticut is or is not the best team, but they still played the Liberty in that stretch. They played Seattle in that stretch. They played Connecticut in that stretch and still covered this line. So it's like, maybe we're overthinking it. Just, they're going to cover. This is a lot of points.
I'm going to go with Connecticut in this one. After what I saw them do on the road against Atlanta, I think this team defensively is just different. I do think you're looking at a spot where the Mystics, with all the injuries they have, you mentioned Austin not being available, that's going to hurt even more. They just don't have enough quality players, in my opinion. Connecticut defensively is incredible. AT, I think, can do whatever she wants in this game. Bonner might be a matchup problem for this team. I'll go with Connecticut. It's an 8-0 team versus an 0-8 team. I'm not going to try to overthink it. It's also the Mystics on the road. We know how bad they've been on the road in comparison to their home numbers for the last couple of years. In a Commissioner's Cup game, I really just don't see the Sun overlooking anybody. I think they just come out and smack this team. So if I had to guess, I'd go with the Sun by like 20. And I have to go with the under in this matchup because I'm not sure the Mystics are going to even reach 60. The Dream only reached 50. So I can't assume the Mystics are going to get to 60 in this game. So I'll go with the under. It's Connecticut. At this point, blind unders with Connecticut might just be the move until you actually lose because the defense is just wild. But I do think that you're looking at the Mystics offensively having issues. We thought Connecticut's performance might have been a fluke against the Mercury, just holding them to 47. And then they held the Dream 2 games later to 50. That's not a fluke. This team defensively is just crazy. I'll go with the under, and I'll go with Connecticut.
Yep. I'm with you on under. I don't know. Mm, I don't know.
It's
I don't know. Those two is really just those two games, and everything else is really, really close with lesser competition. I don't know. I think they're gonna play down to this team a little bit.
but
They're
you
gonna
like the
win.
under
They're
because
not
you
gonna
like the under.
Mystics are not gonna
Yeah,
get the dub. I don't think they're gonna cover though.
but you like the under anyway because you think the Mystics defensively actually show up for this game.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And I question their the offensive integrity of the Sun when again playing down the competition. But
Okay.
I think it's going to be defense here. So under 152.5, we'll split on the side. Player props. Are there anything? Let me see. Let me see.
I mean, if I like the under, then we got to go for some rebounds, right? I mean, we're looking at what should be a pretty solid rebounding game. The Mystics, though, are actually good at stopping opponent rebounding. They're currently the 5th lowest opponent rebounding numbers in the league. Connecticut's number 1. They're the best rebounding team in the league. But with Austin being out, those numbers might go out the window. So maybe if you want to go for AT, you want to go for points and I mean, if you want to go for rebounds and assists, I don't hate it. Maybe just rebounds for AT, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. Unless you're tempted by like a Brianna Jones, I think I'd rather just stay with AT rebounds to go over. You?
Let's see.
Rebounds and assists, by the way, are at 17.5. Rebounds are at 9.5 for AT.
Mm,
And she has
yeah.
gone over this number in 4 of the last 5 against Washington. So, for what it's worth, she had 11 in the first meeting of the season.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with. I'm fine. I never think AT is a bad proper play. I'm just trying to decide if I want to get down on Brianna Jones too. And just now that she's getting more and more games under with that knee and playing a lot better.
And no Austin.
Yeah, definitely. It just opens things up inside beautifully for her to be able to have a really good game. And I mean, prior to that last game where she really wasn't needed all that much. I mean, they didn't put up a high points total in that last game. Like they did,
No.
the Dream actually played them really good defensively. It's just that the Connecticut Sun were just better defensively. But like 69 points in that's really really good defense. So I think that she has a better matchup now, especially with Shakira Austin out. She had 19, 16, 16, 22 to 4 games prior, starting to get herself into a little bit of rhythm. I might talk myself into a Brianna Jones play.
Okay. For the record, by the way, Brianna's rebounds have been horrible lately. So if you want to go for her props, you should go for points. But she has had less than 8 rebounds in 9 straight games, dating back to last year too. And you're looking at the prop at 7.5. So
Brianna Jones is at 7.5.
her rebounds are at 7.5. The under is minus 136. She's gone under in the last 2 head-to-head meetings. She's gone under in all 8 games this season. So
if you find 7.5, make sure you play that now. I see a bunch of 6.5s out there, so it could be going down. So that's probably one of the ones by tomorrow morning when some people are listening to the show because they're not locked in with us right now. It's probably down to 6.5 already.
Yep, I see FanDuel with 7.5.
All right. Let's see here. What's Stephanie Dawson's threes at?
I don't know if they have that. I see her points are at 9.5.
No, I've seen her threes. I've seen it be a prop before. It's probably just not out now. I've seen
it's not up yet. No, I just see her points at 8.5 for her points.
I think she's gonna get the attempts today. I think they're gonna try to pull some of those bigs outside the paint. She loves sitting at that corner 3 spot too, man. I think I'm gonna take her threes. She didn't hit last game, but she's hit at least 2 threes in the 5 games prior. And what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of 8. Yeah, 6 of 8. So 100%. Steph Dolson, I think it's at 1.5 is what I've seen it played at before. If they come out with it, I'm definitely on Stephanie Dolson's 1.5 threes. I think this is going to be an opportunity for her.
All right.
Okay. Let's see here. Anything else? Ariel, not really as tempted on playing Ariel today. I just
have such a hard time taking overs for points props when you're against the Sun. I just have a hard time looking for overs. So
let's see here. Carly Samuelson looks like what's that? 3-pointers. 3-pointers failed to hit in 4 of the last 5 on the road. Well, let me just show you, pull up what I'm looking at so everybody can see.
Although if you want to go back to Harris's threes are at 1.5 minus 106. So something
here.
you might be tempted by.
There we go. Share. Are we sharing? I think we're sharing.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay, there we go. So looking at the little insights tab, seeing what pops up, and if anything was already on my radar. So you see Carly Sampson failed to exceed 1.5 3-pointers in 4 of her last 5 games on the road. That's something to consider. AT here is actually says failed to get 9.5 rebounds in 4. What is that really?
Yeah, but she went over last game, and she also has dominated the head-to-head against Washington. So there might be like a matchup thing.
Oh wow, she actually hasn't. I didn't realize that she hadn't hit those. I guess I have been playing the assist a little bit
Last game
more.
she did, but yeah, she was on a bit of a cold
Okay.
spell with the rebounds.
Didn't know that. Ty Harris failed to exceed 1.5. 4 of her last 5 at home. Wow. Okay. And Ariel. Now that could be interesting. That could be something. Ariel exceeded 4.5 and 4 of her last 5. I wonder what her head-to-head is against them.
I can pull that up. That's
Okay.
for rebounds, right?
Yeah.
Not good. She's gone
Not good.
under this number in 4 of her last 5 against Connecticut. Had 2 in the first meeting this season.
Brianna Jones failed to exceed 22.5 PRA, 7 of her last 9. Oh, okay. See, and this is really cool too, because that it lets you, like, it's some of the stuff, like sometimes they start boosting these lines on us, man, and it's hard to keep track. Like that could have been a good line back there when it was, 18.5, 19.5. Now players start playing better, they start moving the line on us, and that's when we start losing these sometimes. So definitely let's pull this down for now. All right, on to, before we get to the next game of the slate, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. NBA playoffs are here. Our sponsor Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting, and it's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. You can play higher or lower, and on a player, any player. You could do it on a WNBA player, NBA player. It could be golf, it could be MLB, it could be MMA, and you can add them all into an entry, mix them up, max them up, wherever you want to do, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Underdog Fantasy is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. So make sure you stick around for the end of the show. We're going to drop a little makeshift Underdog Fantasy lineup. I wonder if Underdog's got stuff up. We got to go look. Underdog Fantasy is available in 30 plus states, California, Texas, Canada, and they just launched their Champions Player versus Player format in Florida. Make sure you use our promo code NBA SGPN. Hey, we need you to sign up, man. We really, really need you to sign up, man. Go to NBA SGPN, claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. All right. Next game up on the docket Wednesday, we have the Chicago Sky welcoming the New York Liberty in a rematch. Liberty opened up laying 8.5. They're currently laying 6.5. 164.5 is the total here. Injury report for these two teams, and I have, there we go, Naira Salabi. Satu Salabi. Gosh, Lee, I can't talk today. Naira Salabi. She's out. Sabali out. Dang. So it's a back injury with her, and I remember Sandy talking about it. I was listening to a press conference, and they were like, they really don't know what her timetable is. So expect Sabali to be out for a little while, and then Kayla Thornton is gonna fill in there. Kayla Thornton, if you remember, she stepped in for Courtney Vandersloot. Yeah, she stepped in not too long ago for Courtney Vandersloot, had 20 in the game, and that was her first start in a while. So Kayla Thornton is going to step in, fill a lot of that role. We'll see how the bench clicks out for the Liberty. Nothing to report for Chicago Sky. No injured players there as of right now.
We saw them play before this season, and the Sky pulled off the upset in New York.
It's 6.5. It's 6.5 and a respectable number to lay with the Liberty.
I'm taking the Liberty in this game. I mean, the Sky haven't played since Saturday when they lost that game to the Fever. In a game, you could argue they should have won, but the point is it was a close game. Maber missed the free throw at the end, and they lost by 1. Cardoso looked very good. I still question the spacing with her and Angel Reese. And I do think that the Liberty are going to be pissed because they lost on their home floor to this team. And no disrespect to the Sky, but the Liberty are supposed to be a tier or two above. They've been playing better recently. They buried the Fever last game. It feels like the sense of urgency has kind of been ramped up by the Liberty. Maybe it's because of the Commissioner's Cup, or maybe it's just the fact that they couldn't handle the way they played against the Sky and the Lynx. They decided that they had to mentally kind of reset and to look a little bit, I'd say, tougher throughout the course of these games. 6.5, I just think is too low. I really don't know how good Chicago actually is. Chicago, we think, is a very good defensive team. They should be even better defensively with Cardoso. But offensively, I really think they have spacing problems, at least right now, with Angel and with Cardoso. And that was a big issue they had against Indiana. Indiana was very shorthanded, and we saw Chicago look very solid on the glass. But offensively, they were kind of a mess. And now you're against Brianna and you're against Jonquel. The Liberty do have the size to match up actually pretty well with Chicago. And I think the spacing is going to be kind of screwed for Chicago. So I'm going to go with the pissed off Liberty team. I think that there's some revenge on their mind. I don't know if you want to agree or not. There might be a distraction going on with the whole Caitlin Clark thing going on for the last day or two. Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? But the point is, I'm going to lean to the Liberty minus 6.5. I think there is a tier gap, and it does seem like they are, I don't want to say overrating Chicago, but I do think the Liberty are better than what they showed in that first meeting this season. And maybe it's a good chance to set the record straight on how good this team actually is. So I'll go with the Liberty minus 6.5. You seem confused.
No, you make some good points. And you've actually talked me over closer to the Liberty. It's just it's so funny because they've actually only covered 6.5 in 50% of their games. And that's exactly how I feel about this Liberty team. They're 50-50 on which group I'm gonna get any night. Like, so it makes it really, really hard to pick their games sometimes. Like I feel a lot better, seeing Indiana on the other side and picking the Liberty, but anybody else, I just don't understand which team I'm going to get. Like, it's frustrating. And it's super frustrating as a fan. But I do agree with the sentiments. I do think that revenge is on the mind. And I think that this being a Commissioner's Cup game and what I believe is their first Commissioner's Cup game. Am I right? Am I not?
Yeah. No, they lost to the Fever. They played on Saturday instead of Sunday. So they had the extra day off, but they did play a Commissioner's Cup game.
Okay, so they did win one against the Fever. So, and we know this Liberty team,
they lost.
The Liberty didn't lose to the Fever.
The Liberty won. I thought you meant the Sky. The Sky played on Saturday against the Fever.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about the Liberty.
They both played the Fever in their first Commissioner's Cup game.
Yeah, and I'm talking about but the Liberty, I feel like, have the extra motivation. They've already been here, done that, and they're trying to go back to the Commissioner Cup Finals. I think that's the thing that's getting it for me. I think it's a little bit added motivation with the Liberty and how serious we know this team takes Commissioner Cups games. So I'll lay 6.5 with the Liberty. I don't feel the best about it, but it's just because they're 50-50, man. That's the only frustrating thing. Like, they're 50-50 on which group we see.
I like the under in this game. Or maybe a team total under for Chicago, but I think that even though the first meeting did land 171, conceptually, doesn't Chicago have to play slower now that Cardoso's playing with Reese? They combined for 49 points in the fourth quarter last. Actually,
I don't know. When I watched that
Sorry.
game, I didn't see them on the court like too often. There was some overlap, but I feel like it was more of when Cardoso was on the court at one time, Reese was on the court at another time. But that's just
I am just going to throw this out there, though. In the only head-to-head meeting so far this season, they did combine for 99 points in the second half. I don't see that happening.
Absurd.
That's what I'm saying. The first half was actually pretty low scoring. They had 30 points in the second quarter, but it ended up with 171 with an insane 99 in the second half. So I'm going to sell high in the total. I'm going to go with the under.
Yeah, I'm with you. Under. That was the best thing I heard. That 99 in the second half is not happening again. I think it's a lot closer to a game would go at the pace of the first half than the second half for the duration. I think not the second half over the first half. I don't think 99 is achievable again. So, all right. Cool. We're both on under 164.5 there. Player props. What you like?
For player props, I'd probably have to be tempted by Stewart rebounds, even though that has maybe not gone the best recently, but I'm trying to think of who's going to actually rebound the ball for the Liberty. I think a real story in the first meeting was the foul trouble that John Quell got into, so maybe she'll be in foul trouble again. Who knows? Brianna, though, has been pretty consistent for the most part with rebounds, so I think that could be appealing. Maybe if you want to go for Brianna Stewart over 3.5 assists, by the way, you can find the over 3.5 at minus 135. She's had 5 assists in 4 of the last 5 games. She also had 5 in each of the last 5 games against Chicago. Sorry, she had at least 4 in 5 straight games against Chicago, had 5 in the first meeting of the season. That might be an angle worth considering. Giving Brianna Stewart over 3.5 assists at minus 135. You want Angel rebounds?
Yeah.
Is that still 7.5 or do they bump it?
And that's what I'm looking for now. No, it's at 8.5. It's at 8.5 minus
Okay,
110.
they bumped it.
It's legit. Yeah, they legit moved it up. I don't like catching. I don't like when we catch them when they. I like it when we catch them when they move it down. I don't like when we catch them when we move the line up. I feel like that has been bad juju a number of times. But that, like Natasha Cloud, in that last game, I watched her line. I watched her line drop from 7.5 on the assist to 6.5 before game.
Was she have like 8 at the half or something? It was she flew over.
Yes. So I watched the line and I like to catch the line going down rather than moving up. Like it just hasn't gone the same way. Why do I keep feeling like I want to run Brianna Stewart back? Like when I look at it, constantly.
Which angle? The points?
Yeah.
Okay. I mentioned the assist just for the number alone and the ball being.
I see at 19.5, bro. Come on, 19.5.
That's pretty disrespectful for Brianna Stewart.
Like, come on. And I get it, but I get it. But like they were winning that last game by 1,000,000 points, bro. I understand why it didn't hit because they were winning like 1,000,000 points. I'm gonna run Brianna Stewart back 20.5. Marina Mabry is the one that I'm trying to decide.
Was that 17.5?
The trouble. 16.5 now.
16.5? Okay.
Yeah, but and its outlier has a really, really good note about she has failed to exceed 17.5 points in 13 of her last 16 games versus top 5 defenses for points allowed.
Are the Liberty a top 5 defense? Because that's news to me. If they're a top 5 defense, we saw them play terribly against a decent amount of teams defensively.
I mean, I feel like that note is there. Let me see what the points per game average is for them. Let me see here. Team opponent points per game. Yeah, they're 76.
They're probably there because they were able to beat up on the Mystics and they were able to beat up on the Fever 3 times. That probably helps. But
well, let's break it down and look at it a little bit deeper. They gave up 68 to the Fever, gave up 79 to the Mystics, 78 to the Mercury,
that was a back-to-back
84 to the Lynx.
Mercury on a back-to-back, but we can count that.
All right, Mercury and Fever were on back-to-backs. Lynx 84, Sky got to 90, Storm 63. I think that's what was that? Who was playing in that Storm game? I don't think everybody was there. NECA didn't play.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, jury's out. Might have to leave that one alone. All right. I don't know. I keep talking to myself around Stewart. I really think Sloot is just kind of in the way of Sabrina's growth, and I can't. I'm probably gonna play her assist. I think I'm gonna play it again.
I want to quickly see what the actual all the time was for Vandersloot because I know she played last game against the Fever. I just want to see what her minute count actually was. I know it's not exactly minutes. Fair. Yeah,
she had 23 minutes, 9 points, 4 from the field, 9 points, 7 assists. But Sabrina still got over 5.5.
Yeah, they both started though. That's what I wanted to check.
And Sabrina only played 27 minutes and got over 5.5.
Yeah.
I think we just continue to run Sabrina's assist back. She has the ball in her hand literally the whole game.
She should.
And like even though Vandersloot is kind of nerfing into like it's just really limiting the 5.5 is the floor. Even with Vandersloot in the lineup, she can get over 5.5. It's when we start talking about the doubles and 10 plus assists in those big games. Like that's what's really limiting her from getting more and more assists and having the big games. But 5.5 is such a baseline prop for her. I'm taking.
Yeah, but you're forgetting though. It's the Vandersloot revenge game again.
Oh, it is. God freaking dang it.
We have to mention it every time.
I know we do have to mention it every time. All right, no, I'm still on her 5.5 assists. She's been good, man. She's making the right decisions, and I think she's settling. She's settling into the season. Like how I've looked at, I feel like I see her settling into the season. So I'm going Sabrina over 5.5, and I'll probably take Jonquil over 8.5 rebounds because she's gonna have to. Like she's got her hands quite filled for her. So I'm probably gonna take Jonquil over 8.5 rebounds again as well.
All right. Do you want to go for Carter legacy fade after what's happened over the last couple days?
No,
that's 12.5.
Oh, they have prop on her?
Yeah. Well, now people know who she is, so they got props on her. I see 12.5.
What? Really? Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
I see
no, because she's on the bench. She comes off the bench. That's why I thought it was cool. Like,
yeah,
I'll never. But I guess she's the third leading scorer, so you should have props on her. So
I see DraftKings is the only book that has points props on her. 12.5. The under is -120. The over is -110. She had 12 exactly against the Liberty in the first meeting this season.
She's
only played 17.5 minutes though.
She's had exactly 12 in three games this season, 11 in another 14, 19. So she's been over in the last 2 games, but before that, she was just coming up short.
I don't have a thought on her. I just thought it was worth bringing her up because of what's happened the last couple of days.
I'm curious to see where she ends up because I've never seen props out for her. So I'm curious on where this ends up the first time, and then I may end up either backing or fading. Depends on how they react to how she hits it the first day that I see her with props. I'm not going to take her with props the first day, but that's interesting. I've never seen her with props before. So I hope that means they start to give Cardoso props, because if you tell me you have a line on Cardoso rebounds, I'm taking the over no matter what it is. I don't care what it is. I'm taking it. 18 minutes, 11.6 rebounds. That's crazy.
I still want defensive props. I just want to take Brink blocks and Cardoso blocks. It's really all I want.
And Reese steals, bro. She gets a steal a game. She's guaranteed to steal a game. Like guaranteed to steal a game. She's really good. We need to talk to someone with the defensive props for sure. Yeah. Let me know if y'all see defensive props anywhere. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place. All right. Let's see here before we get to the next game on the slate. Gotta talk to you about Rhythm WNBA. Their features on Rhythm, it just makes it so much easier to bet all the action. You can create custom betting models in seconds. You can get AI betting recommendations for every game. They have a whole bunch of things for you to choose from, and they're giving you a 7-day free trial. Make sure you go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Let's see what's their highest. Ooh, well, Scott. Rhythm highest. Well, nope, that's not the highest, is it? That's not the highest. Let's refresh. No, it is the highest. Oh, because I'm guessing it's the high. So. No, because there's another play that has a higher expected win probability, but I guess this play is the top play because of the high win probability and the lowest odds that they found. Because they have Sky plus 6.5 at 62.8%.
Okay. Do they have a final score prediction?
They say that Sky are gonna literally just barely cover this game. They have 5.9 plus 5.9.
I was wondering, do they have a total though? Do they have like the exact score that they're projecting?
Let me for
out of curiosity.
I'm
assuming it's leaning under. I'm just curious. So,
yeah, it is. It is 157.
All right, that's actually a decent amount.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I don't know how this isn't the starry play. What that sounds way better. I love this play, Rhythm under 163.5. You have you have 157 and it says 69.5%.
Okay, I'm in. I was in anyway.
Yeah, now I'm super in. So Rhythm agrees, our handicap agrees. That might have to go in lock consideration, Scott. It just might. All right, next game. Oh, make sure you go to Rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. All right, Phoenix Mercury on the road going to play the Seattle Storm. Seattle opened up laying 6.5. They're currently laying 7.5. 167 is the total injury report for this game, and I have for the Phoenix Mercury. You know, Brittany Griner is still out. Becca Allen did not clear concussion protocol, I believe it was. So she's still out. Nothing to report for Seattle Storm.
Did you learn anything from the Mercury last game?
Nope.
Okay.
That's the crazy thing. It was such a good win. No sweat. Like, very, very good win. Didn't learn a thing.
The problem is they might just be a gatekeeper team. They beat up on the bad team, so in order to actually be decent, you have to beat them, but they're not going to actually contend for anything. You know what I mean? They're like in that middle tier.
I feel like we're going to end up playing the Storm sound effect here.
I think you just want to play the Storm sound effect anyway, so you can just play it if you want. They are playing. You're allowed to play it.
Oh, I did play. Really, really. Like, I don't know why. Top three favorite drop. Top three. I don't know why. It's just, come on, man. I think it's Jewel Lloyd, the Jewel Lloyd effect, because she's a dog. So I don't think the Mercury have anything for them to stop them defensively right now. They're giving up. Oh, let's break, because it's been a little bit of games. Let's just bring it back to the last 5 games. Last 5 games, Phoenix Mercury are second last in WNBA, giving up 84.2%, not 2%, 84.2 points per game. The only team that is worse than that is the Indiana Fever, who are not a real basketball team, giving up 92.8, and that's because people are scoring 100 on them.
92.8 points. All right.
It's
40-minute
really
quarter, 40-minute games, by the way, 10-minute quarters.
Yes.
That's rough.
Seattle, however, in the last 5 games, giving up 76.4.
Sounds right.
And it's like, I want to say it's the level of competition, and it kind of is, but they still held the Liberty to 74. Like, in a loss, in a game that, you know, NECA didn't play, they still held the Liberty to 74 on their home court. So it's like, I see it. I understand Indiana is really the one that's kind of driving those games up, and they have had a level of competition that is weaker over these past few games. But that Liberty game is looming in my head that even in a loss, they held the Liberty to 74 points. I don't know if I don't know if the Mercury are going to be able to score. What if they're not good? What if they're not good offensively?
The thing is,
But
they were
what
so good defensively against the Sparks. Is that because they actually woke up for a game, or is that because the Sparks suck? I don't know.
That's another question.
It sounds like you're
Yeah, I'm
thinking
taking
about the
Storm.
Mercury, but
I'm
you're going
taking
with the
Storm.
Storm. Yeah, sounds like
No,
you're
I
on the
know.
fence
I just
there
don't
for
want
me.
to. Yeah, I just don't want. I don't want to be tricked, because I do think that the Mercury are decent. They're not bad. Like, I don't think they're bad. And 7.5 is a lot of points to lay. I don't think they're bad. But at the end of the day, they can't defend. I have to only trust their offense. And their offense has looked good multiple times this season. Look good against the top teams of this season. And the Aces look good against the bottom feeders. But there's there's that freaking Sun game. There's the Liberty game. There's is these moments where I just look and I'm like, the Blinks game. I just don't know. And I think Seattle's defense is pretty comparable to those teams. Like, they're 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Seattle, and I'm gonna lay the points, but I think the play is Seattle's team total over. I just don't understand how they're not gonna be able to score over whatever that team total is. Let me find it for you, but I just don't know how they're not gonna be able to score on this team.
Yeah, so we're going to agree. I'm going to go with the Storm. Main reason Lane brought up. You guys told us last year to fade the Mercury on the road. Yeah, that's really all I need. The Mercury looked great at home against the Sparks, so not really going to read much into that. Going to Seattle, tough place to play. I do think at the end of the day, the Storm are a bit more complete than Phoenix, and we have seen the defense and not really travel for Phoenix so far this season. To go through the actual road games so far this season for Phoenix, they ended up giving up, just pulling up the exact order here, 95 against the Lynx, 81 against the Liberty, gave up 70 to the Sun, gave up 88 to the Aces and gave up 89 to the Aces. So defensively, not great. Now, they did win one of those Aces games, but the point is defensively, I have too many question marks with NECA being healthy, with Jewel, and with Skylar just being a really solid trio. I think the Mercury have their hands full, and I'm not going to overreact to them beating the Sparks at home. I think the Sparks are bad. I think that they're definitely a bottom 2, bottom 3 team in the league. So I'm not going to suddenly think the Mercury are world beaters. Give me the Storm. Tough place to play. I think the Storm will be up for it. Give me Seattle.
All right. Team total's at 87.5.
I mean, it's a lot, but it kind of goes through all the reasons you said before.
Yeah, they're just really bad. They're just not good defensively, man. And if you're clicking on offense, you're gonna be able to go. And Skylar's hit another mode. I saw Munaf in the chat talking about Skylar Diggins' assists and points and assists. I mean, I talked about it. What was that last game? Wait, hold up. First of all, when does this team play? They've been played in forever. That's another aspect into this that you people are gotta remember. How many times had the Fever played since last Thursday? I mean, not
The
Fever, the
Fever?
Mercury. The Mercury.
I'm gonna guess three.
One. They've had 2 games since then. They
Two?
played
Okay.
Friday and they played on Sunday. They've had 2
Fair.
games since then, and Seattle's been off since Thursday. So there's
Yep.
also the rest factor and all of that. This is all feeding into Seattle, and Seattle might be locked. Am I gonna fade the Mercury the next game after they just cash from me? I probably am.
For what it's
But
worth, by the way, Seattle has won each of their last 3 games by at least 9 points. For what it's worth.
Yeah, they're locked in. But back to the point that I was making, Skylar Diggins Smith been really, really good. I talked about that last game. She's been over that 20. I think the line was actually 22.5. I got on that points and assists. It might have been 21.5 actually. So it might have gone up a point, but she's been over this line last game before that, So 3 straight games and 5 of 8 this season.
Mhm.
I mean, and now it kind of looks like, and when you see it on the court, that she's starting to get more comfortable. She's hitting the 3 ball a very, very efficient rate. She's had 2 plus 3s hitting at 50% or better in the last 3 games. And when that's come alive, her game has been able to open up for her down low. She's been able to score on all 3 levels. Like that just boosts her points props. So yeah, I do like the 22.5 points and assists for Skylar Diggins Smith. I do like the 6.5 assists as well. She's been over that line in 2 of the last 3 games.
She didn't just go over, by the way. She had 9 assists in 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah. So absolutely obliterating that. Yeah. And I think they're going to score. Like, it's the same logic. I think they're going to score. She's got the ball in her hands all the time. She's going to get assists. And playing alongside, everybody, NECA, Jewel, like, the opportunity is there for you. So 100% I like Skylar Diggins Smith. Points and assists. Probably going to continue to run that back again. I can't get past Jewel, man. I mean, if I'm playing a team with bad defense, I just assume Jewel's going to go out there and score 30.
Okay. It's fair.
She had 18 in 20 minutes against this team in the preseason.
It's pretty good. That is pretty good.
First of all, Jewel, the fact that who told you to get up 15 shots in preseason in 20 minutes? You are childish.
She knew what the purpose of that game was, and that's to
She
get
said,
ready.
I'm trying to go. And it is crazy because she had a slow start to the season. But like, she really said, yeah, I'm gonna go up here and get all these shots up. Definitely. Wow, that's insane. You're actually really, really childish for that. Favorite player, man. Absolutely favorite player. Yeah, I'm taking Jewel over points. She's gonna score. I might let her.
Okay.
What you like?
For me in this one, you mentioned Diggins Smith assists already. I do agree. If you want to go for 7.5, by the way, that's plus 205. So that could be worth a look. Double 750 for Diggins Smith. She's had 9 assists once again in 2 of the last 3 games. That could be worth consideration. I think NECA's going to have a solid matchup. So I think NECA should be in line for a solid game on the glass in particular. Her rebounds are at 7.5. I think she's in line for a solid showing there because we know the Mercury don't really have.
It's the revenge game. It is the revenge game. Oh my God, no. Everything's on Seattle. Oh my gosh, everything's on Seattle.
Yeah.
Yo, no, but like, do you remember? I don't know if y'all saw the preseason game, but they were talking about it in the preseason game, and it was like, nah, we with Skylar. And in that preseason game, they was like, "Yeah, we with Skylar. We with Skylar." They was talking about we gonna get on them for Skylar. Like they were doing it in the what's the mic'd up portion.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot all. I don't know how I just let that completely escape my mind. I almost went through this breakdown without talking about
I think you skipped it
the
because she didn't play last year. I think that's why you skipped it.
yeah, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But like, she definitely was a part of that team last year. Didn't play because the team was doing her kind of dirty, yo. Like she was just
The team also
like she was
sucked.
coming back
I'm sure
from.
she enjoyed every
She
second
wasn't
of that
worried.
last year.
Yeah, she did, but she just wanted to work out. Like just wanted to work out and wanted to come back. She just had a baby. Like
Mhm.
not a lot of people like having a baby doesn't mean you come back the next season automatically for everybody. Nafisa Collier ended up taking majority of the next season off and then came back the next year and was comeback player of the year, and now she's an MVP candidate. So like people just need time off. Skylar's about to kill them. And we got the data behind the 22.5 points and assists. I'm definitely playing that. And I might have to lock up Seattle now. Because now now I have a narrative too. Not only does everything else make sense, but I have a narrative to go with it. Yeah. All right. What else you got, Scott?
I mentioned NECA before. I think the rebounds might be worth a look. See, you're looking at Phoenix still going small, and I do think that NECA can capitalize on that. If you want to go for NECA points and rebounds, by the way, you can find that at 26.5. She has gone
Really?
under in 3 straight, so I probably would stay away from that. The number does feel a bit high, but I think the
Mhm.
rebounds could be interesting. I do think she can definitely, once again, capitalize on a smaller front court that Phoenix is going
Mhm.
to roll out. So I think NECA is just going to have a solid matchup.
All right.
Taurasi under
She
after she dropped
that's
30
seven and
last
a
game.
half. That's 7.5 on the rebounds for NECA feels kind of sweet. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's Mac. You're going up against Mac and Mac.
Mhm. I want to see
Can
what
you really
Taurasi's at. Taurasi's at 15.5 points. She had 30 last game.
I couldn't do anything but fade, and I don't want to fade her because
That's fair.
she's actually been really solid this season. Like for all the shit that we talked last year, she's been really solid this year.
Hmm. I'm just asking because she has gone under 14 points in 3 of the last 4 games against Seattle. So I was just throwing it out there that if you
Mm.
wanted to fade her off of a great game, you can make the
This
option
is
for a
the
solid
matchup,
number.
and defensively, I think Seattle is legit.
Just a
Maybe,
thought if you want to go for a fade. But
maybe.
all right.
Ask me again during Underdog. I might change my mind. All
Anything
right,
else you want to add? Or should we go to lock
nah,
and dog?
I'm locking dog.
Cool.
All right, lock. Yeah, man, I think it's Seattle. I think
Okay.
I've talked myself into Seattle.
Are you going with Seattle or are you going with Diggins Smith? Or you can do like a
Mm,
player performance double or something.
no, because I think everybody's going to step up for it too. And I agree with you. I actually really think NECA has a really good matchup, and NECA and Jewel could, vulture a lot of that. Yeah, just give me Seattle. I'll lay the 7.5.
Okay.
I'll lay the 7.5. Yeah. I just there's a clear night and day difference between these two teams defensively. I think that offensively, there's literally no like I don't know how they're gonna hold Seattle from scoring. It just has to be inefficiency. But I think that the defense is so questionable that they're gonna get good looks. And if Seattle gets good looks, they're gonna score. And they're in a really good form right now. And it's the Commissioner's Cup. And we have to remember that this is a Commissioner's Cup game. And I think Seattle sees themselves as a team that can win the Commissioner's Cup. So yeah, 7.5, laying 7.5, lock for my dog.
You can double down on Diggins Smith, take the assist.
I was thinking about it.
I'm trying to think of what else you liked. I don't think you liked any outright dog money lines for this
Nah, because I'm not
slate.
taking Washington, and I don't know. I'm not really feeling Chicago either. Wow. I actually don't think I have like a dog that I really, really want to get behind. I guess I have to do Skylar. All right,
What,
let's
8
go with
assists?
it.
It's 205.
Mm,
I don't believe WNBA has
I wish I
all
could get it.
points and rebounds or all
Yeah, I
points.
was about to say, I wish I could get an alt points and assist line.
Yeah,
That would feel better. Hmm. Skylar's been scoring a lot. Do they have a threes
I
proper?
can check.
No, they do not. Oh, yes. Wait, hold on. 2 is, oh wait, that's minus 102. So 3 is plus 350. She's been getting 2 a lot. You need to break through. She's had 2. She's been 2 for 4, 2 for 4. What's this? 2 for 3. Past 3 games, really locked in from 3. Is it the 3 ball? Yeah. What's the points? Let me see what the points converts over to. 20 plus points is, oh wait, that's all. Wait, so I get plus 220, 20. Nah, I'm gonna take the threes.
Okay.
I'm gonna take threes. Give me 3 threes plus 350. She breaks through. Has a really good, really good threes day.
All right. So for my lock, I'm going to join sides with a rhythm. I'm going to go with the under in the Liberty game. I was a fan of it anyway, but I am going to go back to it. I just think that this line is too high. I think it's an overreaction to what happened in the first game. 164.5 is the line that I see right now. I mentioned it before. First meeting landed 171. This is a Commissioner's Cup game, so expect better defense. We saw Chicago play an absolute rock fight against Indiana. And Indiana doesn't guard anybody. I'm not going to overreact to the Liberty scoring 100 plus because the Fever on a back-to-back, and that team also sucks at defense. But you're also looking at the thing I mentioned before from the first meeting, 99 combined points in the second half. So I'm not going to overreact to a high-scoring game because of one crazy half. I do think you're going to see a lower scoring game here, not just with the stakes, but I think the Liberty will buy in a bit more defensively. They gave up 90 to Chicago. That can't fly. Like, they got to play better defense. I think they'll buckle down a bit. So I do like the under 164.5 as my lock in the Liberty game. For my dog, I thought about doing Diggins Smith for the assists at 8 at 205. But instead, I think I am going to go with a same game parlay, actually. I think I'm going to parlay the Sun with the under. I just think that they're going to win again in some ugly game on the box score. You're going to look up and go, damn, Washington scored 52 points. And Connecticut just wins like 70 to 52 or like something disgusting. So if you parlay the Sun minus 12 with the under 152 on FanDuel, you can get a same game parlay of plus 264. I like that quite a bit. The Sun defensively have been giving up less than basically 51 points to pretty good offenses in 2 of their last 3 games. And now they're facing off against the Mystics, who are missing a bunch of players. I think it's a good spot for another under. I think Connecticut brings it defensively, especially at home in the Commissioner's Cup. So I am going to go with the Sun minus 12 in the under 152. 2-pick parlay is plus 264 as my dog.
Plus 264. What was your lock again?
My lock was the under 164.5 in the Liberty game.
Oh, yeah. Sky Liberty.
So.
All right.
Don't fail me, Rhythm.
Hey, man.
69% chance. Don't fail me, man.
That's going to be such bad press if this does it.
I feel like it's worse because I made a rhythm. I made a rhythm joke about the last episode about the total, and the game went over, so it didn't even matter. So that might have been a bad sign anyway. But
if it hits, if it doesn't hit, I'm blaming you. It's not Rhythm's fault. It's your fault.
That's fine. Yeah, we can't blame.
We need
Rhythm.
the support. Yeah. It's you jinxed Rhythm. That's what it is. All right, man. Appreciate everybody. We're getting a lot more growth, a lot more buzz about the show. Make sure you please drop a like for us on the way out. Drop a like on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, if you're listening on via X, Twitter, then please head over to YouTube, drop a like, drop a comment, say how much you like the show, all of that. If you're listening to podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and review, and subscribe. Oh yeah. Let's drop let's see if let me look on here, see if Underdog has anything. If they don't, we can put something together. Let's see.
Well, we know we want Diggins Smith. Okay. Do you want the 1.5 threes or do you want the assist? Because we need a Skyward drop in there.
Well, they don't have a lot for her. They actually have 16 points or 8 first half points.
Okay.
I'd take her. I still take her points. I would still take her points. I think she's gonna score. Yeah. Higher. 19. I mean, not 19. Higher 16 points for Skylar Diggins Smith. We can.
I mentioned Brianna assists for the Liberty if that's a 3.5.
No, don't have an assist line for her. I'm cool with Jonquil. cool with Sabrina assist. I'm cool with.
You want AT rebounds and assists at 17 now?
It's at 18. I'll take the higher on
That's
that.
at 18? Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was at
Higher.
17 now. But
18 rebounds and assists for AT. DeWanna Bonner, Ariel Atkins. I'm not really sold on Ariel today. Brianna Jones. I don't think I'm there, Brianna Jones. Let me see.
do you want
We
to go
don't have
Mabry
Steph
lower?
Olsen threes.
You mentioned Mabry before. I know she had a great game against the Liberty the first time around, but you can get her lower on points at 17.5.
If I take a lower, I would rather just have fun and take Taurasi.
You want to go Tarazi? You want to get wild?
I can go for it. I can go for
All
it.
right.
I think that's a better sweat than me than sitting here sweating Mabry. Sweating Taurasi feels better.
Tarazi
All right.
with 30 plus points last game. You're tired. It's fine. You go rest your knees. It's fine.
Bro, she's like 100. Like, there's no reason that you should be doing this. Like, there's no reason you should still be doing this. And it's so funny because the all-time point scorer just keeps going up and up and up. And she tried to make sure nobody hits that joint again. All right. Skylar Diggins-Smith, higher 16 points. Alyssa Thomas, higher 18 rebounds and assists. And Diana Taurasi, lower 15.5 points. Put that in Underdog. That's going to give you a 6-1 payout. $50 gets you $300 over at Underdog Fantasy. And make sure you're signing up. If you're not signed up for Underdog, go use that promo code and sign up. If you want to support this show, you want to support us, please sign up with the promo code NBA SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com. All right. Let's see. We will be back for Wednesday's games. I didn't talk to Munaf about this, Scott, but I was gonna say let's just talk about Wednesday's games in our NBA slot tomorrow. Because I don't think we have anything scheduled there. But
well, we do not. I talked to Munaf about it. We have nothing for that.
Yeah.
He has a probcast at 12, but we can still do it at 11.
Okay, so let's do Wednesday, 11 a.m. tomorrow. And then so come join us. Come back and join us live 11 a.m. tomorrow. We will do the aces and the wings and the links and the sparks. That also gives some time for some more props to generate up there too. And then that will also give our regular NBA crowd something to listen to as well. So right here on NBA Gambling Podcast on YouTube, make sure you give us a subscribe, all of that. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just going to like this. We are out of here.